Hi, welcome to the first edition of the ShiftNow podcast with Ballistic Ventures for 2026. Today we've got a interesting set of segments to bring to you. The first being Phil Venables' masterclass in CISO work. Phil is currently a partner with Ballistic Ventures, and I'd love to give him the floor now to talk about what he's brewing up for CISOs.
Yeah, one of the things that we've been working on, and this comes from my experience for the past few years at Google, and then before that in various different roles, and also what we do now at Ballistic Ventures and spending time with hundreds of CISOs across large businesses, public sector organizations, small, medium-sized businesses, is really looking at the shift in the CISO role, something that we call CISO 2.0. And this will probably resonate with many of the things that you're all personally experiencing every day, is the shift of the CISO to being a business-first executive, something we like to call kind of the CEO of their own security program. So a business-first mindset to deliver security, but security in the context of their commercial or mission objectives. And then similarly, it's also important, and you see this increasingly with successful CISOs, or what you might describe as having technical empathy. So this is something where they very much drive technical control improvements in their organization, but they do so with a much deeper partnership with development teams, engineering teams, product teams, DevOps, SRE teams, in a much closer partnership. So in other words, rather than just handing across instructions of things that must be done, thinking about how they can, for example, not just shift left, but shift down controls into the platform to create an environment where people can have significant productivity, agility, adopt new technology, but do so in a secure way in partnership with those technology teams. And then they're also increasingly a long-term player. So when you think about what it takes to create a more modern, defendable technology environment, it requires significant work over multiple quarters, if not multiple years. So these are not just 90-day projects. These are expansive programs of improving an organization's technology in close partnership between the CISO and the CIO or the CTO. And so when you think about this, the 2.0 CISO is this business first, great deal of technical partnership, and in it for the long term with their organization to deliver that change.
Sounds much needed. And a couple of the themes that come out of what you discuss, as well as the slides, are this idea of the feeling of dynamism and change, as well as integration. You mentioned early on, and I love that the transition of the CISO from just a technical leader to a business leader 2.0, right? What are some of the things you see that are in a nutshell, the hardest things for leaders to transition? Because a lot of us CISOs want more voice, more stake at the table, but it is a two-way street.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the main things is to create that pull from the business. So a lot of security teams, they're perpetually pushing activities into business lines and technology teams. And so they're always kind of writing new things for people to do, demanding new things to be done, which is, they have to do that.
Right.
But where the success comes is where they create a pull. So for example, if a business unit has embedded within their key performance indicators or their OKRs, what their security objectives are, and executives are being measured against that, then they're more likely to pull help from the security team to help them deliver the objectives that their bosses and the board are overseeing them to achieve, so that security becomes the shared accountability. And when you've got that, they pull help from the security team as opposed to feel like the security team is always pushing things onto them. And I think that changing that dynamic from push to pull is probably one of the most critical things.
It makes a lot of sense. Create the structural demand. Another thing in the slides I thought was really compelling was this phrase, technical empathy. A lot of times in our business, people will position these things as opposite sort of forces, being technical and precise and detailed versus being empathetic with humans. But it makes you think about it in a different way. in terms of who can benefit from the masterclass, do you see it more as people coming from the technical side to learn the softer skills, or people who are coming in wanting to know how to absorb technical things more quickly, or how is that bridged?
No, I think it's going to be both. And as we explore these topics over the next few events through this year, we'll look at how technical leaders can develop a deeper understanding of their businesses and how to operate as a business executive. And then we'll also look at how the more business oriented security leaders can work more closely with the technical architects, the lead engineers, the CTOs, the CIOs to think about how to develop a more long term strategy where they can build security in a way that also delivers business objectives, like the example we gave on improving software delivery gets you security, it gets you reliability, it gets you the agility to produce
Right.
software more efficiently, improving infrastructure reproducibility and adopting things like
Yeah.
immutable infrastructure patterns gets you business delivery, gets you agility, gets you reliability, gets you security. And so we're going to explore more of those concepts as well.
That sounds great. It's a chance for people to really think more deeply about some of these topics that they're dealing with every day and learn from someone and people who are very seasoned in what they've been doing. I really appreciate that as as an offering.